big, beautiful, loving planet called Earth, I felt like it would be a good topic to talk about because you guys know how much I love talking about movies and talking about shows. But we're gonna give some examples, but we're not gonna talk about it like I have talked about in the past. Now, every single person is different. I completely understand that. Not everyone's gonna want to sit through an hour and a half or a 2-hour episode of a TV show. And there's not going to be a lot of people who want to sit through a 3.5 hour, or 2-hour 45-minute film, unless it's a really good film that they've been hyped up about it for a while. Now, I've been talking to a lot of people recently about this, and I've seen a lot of movies in my time. I've seen the Lord of the Rings extended versions, which are extremely long. I've seen the Harry Potter films so many times, and some of them are like 2.5 to almost 3 hours long, and others are not. And it's not just those ones. It's any film that's over 2 hours 15 minutes. Everyone thinks that film is too long. There's a lot of individuals who think that, or shouldn't say think, but believe that an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes is a proper length for a film. Anything above 2 hours is probably too long for them. And some movies are. I will grant you that. Some movies that are above 2 hours can get a little long at times. Unless there's a lot of action that happens, or there's a lot of things that keep you intrigued in that specific film. And I'll give you some examples. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's a long film. The Wolf of Wall Street. That's another long film. Now let's talk about TV shows that have long episodes. Like the Game of Thrones. There's got to be like a little bit of you guys out there who think that some of those episodes are a little too long. And the same thing could be said about House of Dragon, or other shows that have episodes that are like an hour and a half long, or even singing competitions. I'm not saying that The Voice or The Masked Singer or any of those other, singing competitions, some of them are an hour and a half long, but they have commercial breaks. But yeah, and the same thing could be said about any of the other shows that I mentioned in this vlog. But let's be real here. I love those. I love longer movies. I love longer TV show episodes. But don't get me wrong. Movies that are an hour and a half to an hour and 45, or right under an hour and 50 minutes are good length films. Anything below that hour and a half, you're kind of wanting more. Like, say, like in movies like an hour and 20 minutes, or an hour and 25 minutes. They're not giving you the full, they may give you a full story, but it just doesn't make sense, and then they end it on like a cliffhanger. And the same thing with TV episodes. I'll give you an example of a show that should have had more seasons that didn't, but they did have a spin-off, and they did have a movie that was related to it, and they had a movie of the spin-off show, and that's Firefly. I believe Firefly should have had more than one season, and it didn't. But then they came out with Serendipity. I think that's the right word. And then they came out with the movie, and then the Serendipity TV show came out with a movie of its own, or not came out, but released a movie of its own. So, people got the answer they wanted through the film and through the spin-off show, and anything could be said about any TV show, whether it's Big Bang Theory, whether it's Game of Thrones, whether it's House of the Dragon, whether it's Firefly, or any TV show that exists. Heck, even I would have thought they would have had more seasons of Shadow and Bone, but they canceled it after 2 seasons. because I think there's like 3 or 4 books in the series. No, it's 3 books. I would have thought they would have had at least one more season just to, finish it up and tell the story of the 3rd book. Now, I have not read those books just yet, but I'm getting off topic here. I'm trying to say that sometimes, not every time, but sometimes there are good movies that are over 2.5 hours long, or 2 hours and 15 minutes long. Now, if you're getting into the 5-hour range, that may be pushing it a little bit too long. Now, Lord of the Rings, the last Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, that was 4.5 hours long, or close to that, I believe. The extended version, not the unextended version, but the extended version was like 4 hours and 25 minutes or 30 minutes, something like that. I could be wrong. I'd have to go and double check that for the extended version. And there's other movies that are out there too that I may be forgetting. Oh, like King Kong. That movie is the Jack Black version, and Naomi Watts version of it is about 3.5 hours long. So, but yeah, that's what I wanted to discuss with you guys today. And it's not, and I may have missed TV shows that have longer episodes or movies that are longer that I may have forgotten about mentioning in this vlog. But there are movies out there in this world that are longer than anyone anticipates, but some of them are good. I'm not saying every single movie that's, spans from 2 hours, 15 minutes to 3.5 or 4 hours long are going to be good. They just have to intrigue you enough to watch them. And not everyone's going to like a 2 hour, 15 minute film or a 3 hour film or a 4 hour film. But some of us do. And for me personally, even TV episodes, they can range anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. But it might be different shows that do that. Anyways, I digress. I have a couple of birthdays to wish, and then we gotta do my outro. We might be changing something with that outro because I've figured some other stuff out. Anyway, so I'd like to wish Megan Tonjes a happy birthday, Kristen Brown a happy 25th birthday, Fred Warner a happy birthday, Alex Mack a happy birthday, and Lindsay Ellingson Clayton a happy birthday today. And that does it for birthdays on this 19th day of December. I mean, not December, November. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. I meant to say November. I said December. For the 19th day of November. Anyways, so I will date anyone in the celebrity world except for these four. I will not date a Playboy bunny. I will not be dating. Okay, let me go back further here. So there's a love story for every single person out there in this world, whether they care to admit it or not. Whether it's close by you or super far away from you, they exist. For me personally, she's in that celebrity world. Whether it's music, acting, YouTube. I'm forgetting some other ones. Wrestling athlete, and I'm forgetting one other one, but that's part of it. YouTube, social media, stuff like that. The ones that I mentioned earlier, I won't go anywhere near a Playboy bunny or a porn star or stripper or a bodybuilder or anything famous like that, because that's just not who I am, and that's not who I'm going to be ever. So I thought I'd just point that out. This might be the last couple of last 11 days that you'll hear me do this outro, because that's how many days are left of November. We're going to stop doing it in December and just say goodbye at the end of the vlogs from here on out, after November 30th. And with that being said, I will see you tomorrow with a brand new vlog, and bye-bye.